Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed coming through with another live stream. As you enter the chat, make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way in. We're going to be talking about the importance of emotional intelligence. Yes, the importance of emotional intelligence. I see y'all rolling in the chat pretty quick. It's good to see y'all. I'm glad y'all catching another live stream. What's good with y'all? What's good? What's good? I see y'all rolling in pretty quick. Hey, who we got up in here? We got True Love in here. We got Ski Ski in here. Hey, yo, Kayla Love in here. Yo, Joy's in the house. Man, Hugh Up Next is in here. That's what's up. This particular video here is going to be very edifying. We're going to talk about the renewal of the mind, because according to the Holy Bible, salvation really begins with the renewal of your mind. And we really got to go into detail about what emotional intelligence is, because what we're dealing with in this world right now is nothing short of psychological warfare. It's a straight up mind game being played on everybody. And a lot of people are beginning to have a seared conscience, not recognizing what's before them because they are emotionally unstable. Emotions can be very dangerous. So I find this particular video more than necessary. Emotional intelligence. Now, a lot of people may not be familiar with that terminology, so let me break this down to you. The way your brain processes certain information determines your emotions a lot of the times. I have recently, been studying the limbic system. For those who are not familiar with the limbic system is, it's basically how your brain processes and functions when it comes to how you deal with emotions and how you deal with memory and how you all in all process information. All right. And I want to really go into detail about being emotionally stable. Because if you look at this world, if you look at a lot of manipulators, narcissists, if you look at a lot of people that may be around you, they tend to utilize your emotional, I would say your emotional side of the brain. All right. They like to pull or tug at your heartstrings. They do it in the media when they play certain music. I mean, these psychiatrists actually study how to manipulate people through their emotions. That's just like if a Feed the Children's commercial come on, although you don't know where that money is going, but that's another story. Let's say a Feed the Children's commercial comes on and they're playing the violin. You know, they playing this sad music, in the arms of an angel. And then every time, you know, that jars at the public. It tugs at the heartstrings. And so that's just an example of how they utilize these mind games and these mind tricks. But this message right here is really directed towards you melanated people. Melanin, 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 melanin. Wow. They say the darker the berry, the deeper the roots. Yes. Man, you got to understand how DNA and melanin plays a role in your limbic system and your emotions. I'm going to let it be known. Quote unquote black people, and I use that term very loosely because black is just a color. But quote unquote black people, right? You have stronger emotions. Your emotions are intensified. Throughout time, you have become reactionary. It is literally first nature for you to be reactionary because you have been through so much. And it's been passed down through your DNA. It's been passed down through your genetic makeup. Your physical makeup embodies this emotional energy. Because when you put somebody through such a travesty, when you put somebody through something so, I would say, overwhelming, what ends up happening is that DNA actually spreads down. That reactionary DNA, that emotion, you feel pain twice as hard. Me and my brothers was talking about Gentiles, our Gentile counterparts, our brothers, and how, we've noticed that a lot of our brothers who happen to be Gentiles, they keep a game face a lot better than a lot of brothers. They keep a game face a lot better than a lot of brothers, meaning, let's say they're upset about something. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to know that they're upset, all right? They'll kind of keep a game face, bring it up a little bit later, and then whatever the situation is dealt with. But when it comes to our people, we react. If you get on our wrong side, it's just like we just snap. Of course, age, experience, wisdom, and knowledge plays a role on how you interact or react. But our people, all in all, have strong emotions. And when I say our people, I'm talking about everyone from the diaspora. Blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, so on and so forth. People who are melanated. I'm talking about melanated people. All right? And I'm going to be totally frank with you. This is something we got to work on as people, brothers and sisters. This is something that we must work on. Because now that we are coming into knowledge of self, we're trying to reach our full potential. We're trying to reach new heights and new dynamics and become the kings and queens that we are supposed to become. And what it's going to take is exercising our personal emotions. And I'm going to tell you now, it's a lot of work that goes into that. That's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to accomplish. We got to learn to stop responding to everything. We got to learn to use patience when there's a situation that you don't agree with, that you don't like. You got to know when it's time to speak and when it's time to remain silent. And this is something that I'm telling y'all, but I'm also saying the same thing to myself. Yesterday, I was at Walmart, right? Because I purchased a laptop not too long ago. Actually, it was 5 months ago. I purchased this laptop in June, all right? It was like damn near $800 laptop. Paid for a warranty, everything. That's 5 months of owning this laptop. Now, for anybody who's ever dealt with Walmart customer service, especially when you have a return, you already know it's about to go down. It's about to be something that's just totally just out of control. You already know it's going to get real. You already know your patience got to be on the next level. You already know you got to get your emotions in check before you even, deal with that situation. You already know what it's going to be. So, I go to return this laptop after paying for a warranty. And basically, they gave me a phone number to contact Hewlett Packard, which that's HP. And I'm like, well, ma'am, this laptop lasted 5 months. And without notice, it just gave out. I don't want this laptop anymore. Here it is. You can pull my receipt up. I purchased it 5 months ago. It just went out. I don't want this computer anymore because it's not good quality. If it lasted 5 months, I don't want to go through the rigmarole of it being fixed, so on and so forth. So, hey, can I exchange it? It goes without saying they didn't exchange it. But it was at one point of the conversation. It was at one point of the conversation where I should have been quiet. I should have been quiet when I asked the lady, hey, can this be done? Instead of waiting and, actually being patient, I should have been quiet. And maybe, perhaps, it would have been exchanged. Now, I use that example for several reasons. Us as people, we like to go back and forth. We don't like to bridle our tongue, even if it's something not going in our favor, even if we know we're right in that situation. There is still a time to remain silent and just let things play out the way they're going to play out. A lot of the times, people are in their own personal emotions. They're going through their own feelings and what have you. But if you remain the emotionally stable person in that situation, if you remain calm, then the whole atmosphere changes. This is how important emotional intelligence is. The whole atmosphere literally changes. Everything. You just having that calm, cool, and collective demeanor, whether or not something works out in your benefit or not. You got to learn to suppress your emotions. And I'm going to tell you what'll happen. If you can practice this type of patience, what ends up happening is you are better at decision making. That's one huge, huge change that will happen in your life. If you could just let things play out and learn to be patient, learn to bridle your tongue and think, use your brain before making a decision. If somebody asks you something, there's nothing wrong with waiting to respond. Understand, you can wait a whole day before you respond to a question until you have the absolute answer to the question. So, us as people, we got to learn this. This is something that really have to be learned. Like, your decision making will be critical. I mean, it will be, I should repeat that. Decision making is critical. All right. Especially in this day and age. Everything that they put on TV is psychological warfare. If you don't get your emotions under control, you will be led by Judas goats all the way to the slaughter. Now, if you don't know what a Judas goat is someone who looks like a sheep, but they're actually leading sheep to the slaughter. Judas goats. And that's all that's placed before you on television, especially within the Black community. You got all of these prominent Black figures who are being pushed out on the media to get you to follow your own demise. And nobody knows how to pull at your heartstrings and know what makes you tick more than another person from your same race. Nobody can get you in your emotions more than someone of your same race. They know what makes you tick. So what you're going to see right now is the media is going to put a barrage of your people on TV to get you to follow the agenda. Now, if you easily led by emotion, then you ain't going in the right direction. Emotion will get you killed out here. I'm telling you, emotions will get you killed out here. In one heat of the moment, where you get in your feelings, that can cost you your life. The brother King Von, who was shot in Atlanta, Georgia, the young man who was killed, the rapper. In that one split second, in that one moment, in a blink of an eye, he operated solely on emotion. He hopped out that truck. He darted forward like a man on a mission. He looked like a man on fire. He darted out. He started swinging. And he ended up being shot and killed. Emotions will get you killed. Because guess what? Logic would have been paying attention to your surroundings. Logic is always a better choice than your emotions. And I'm going to tell you, this affects our people in so many levels, not having emotional intelligence. I mean, damn, people can have degrees. You can go to school long as you want. You can have all kind of bachelor's or master's degrees. You can have all kind of trades. You can have every type of worldly knowledge known to man implemented to your mind. But at the end of the day, if you don't have emotional intelligence, guess what? All of that is irrelevant. All of it is irrelevant. Because at a blink of an eye, you can still end up behind bars from doing something that you shouldn't have done because you done lost control. You done flipped out. At the end of the day, you can still have a relationship in your life that don't belong there, that can cost you your life. Because even when you invite certain spirits, certain people into your circle, a lot of the times it's based on what, y'all? Emotion. You felt lonely. That's an emotion. You felt sad and you wanted someone there to comfort you. That's an emotion. So you allow somebody in your life that cost you your life. You wanted to fit in. So, you allow someone in your life that shouldn't even be there. And now they are costing you your life or your livelihood. They're putting everything in your life in jeopardy because you lacked emotional intelligence. And I'm going to tell you right now, women have it 10 times as worse as men. 10 times when it comes to emotions. That's the curse right there. That's the curse that women would have, that their emotions will be exaggerated. They will have more thoughts, more feelings, more worries, more concerns, more uncertainty than men. And since that's the case, ladies got to work 10 times as hard to control their emotions. They got to work 10 times as hard in transmuting energy because they have so much feminine energy that's just laying there. And it has to be transmuted. It has to be transformed into something great. They have to be doing something with themselves as well as men. But it's very, very important for women to stay busy. That's why if you look at a women's prison, right, and a men's prison, I'm just use that as an example. It's two different scenarios. It's two different situations. When a woman is dormant and she has nothing to do, it's different for her. Emotionally and psychologically, it is even harder on that woman. But on a man, on the other hand, that man is doing more push-ups. He's working out. He's treating it like gladiator school. You see some of these brothers come out all yoked up and everything, but the emotional damage that it does to a woman is a little bit deeper because it's all psychology. It's all emotions. Now, I'm going to just put this out here, ladies. I'm going to be straight up with y'all. And this is just the utter truth. When you are a female in a relationship and you do not have emotional intelligence, you don't know how to hold your tongue, you don't know how to bridle your tongue, you don't have patience, you don't know when to zip your lips, you don't know when to fall back, and your anger is explosive. The first time you show a real man that you cannot control your emotions, the first time where you lash out, the first time, I don't care if it's a man you just met, a man you just dealt with, whatever the situation is. The first time you call this man bugging, his whole view of you changed from that point on. He has lost a great deal of respect. The moment where he sees that you have the proclivity to act like an animal. When he sees that you have the proclivity to basically go off, lash out, become very aggressive, that man have already made up his mind not to take you serious. Not to take you serious, not to deal with you. That man have already made up in his mind that, oh, hell no, I'm not finna deal with that. whatsoever. Whatsoever. So it's very important. Like, a lot of women lose good brothers because instead of being patient, because I get it. A lot of ladies have been hurt, been scorned, been through a great deal of pain dealing with these brothers out here, but you cannot bring your past situations into the present. You just can't do it. You got to get your emotions in check. You got to be patient enough to see what this man is about before you start, treating him like the last brother, before you start, sending these long, crazy ass text messages. Yeah, because the minute where you show that lack of discipline is the minute where that man is totally turned off from you. You gotta practice emotional intelligence. Brothers don't give a damn about your degrees. All right? Brothers don't care about how long you went to school. They don't care about what kind of job you got. Not a man who can take care of his damn self. A man who can take care of his own, and he don't need no woman to take care of him. He can, he got his own money. He got his own home. He got his own vehicle. He got his own job. He don't need no woman to take care of him financially. Only brother who really care about, a woman's, degrees and all of that, or job or finances, is a man who needs her. All right? That's just the truth. What men really want is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. A woman who knows how to carry herself. And a lot of you brothers, you got to understand that if your emotions are off, then that's a very dangerous situation to be in, especially as a quote unquote black man. If you a black man, a big black man, and you emotional, trust and believe the world has a way of sitting you down for a while. The world has a way of dealing with an emotional black man. Trust and believe that. It's called prison. It's called a pine box. It's called a graveyard. See, when a woman goes off and she burns a man's clothes, when she damages his car, she may get a slap on the wrist. When you brothers go off, I don't give a damn if you get hungry. That's an emotion too. You're hungry, right? And your ass go in there and steal a candy bar. Guess what? You stealing that candy bar, you may get slammed on the pavement, face first, bleeding all over the concrete while getting handcuffed and tased. Then you slammed inside of a cell and you in there with nerve damage because they done tased you 11 times. Now you in a cell with nerve damage because you tried to steal a candy bar. That's the reality of being a black man. It is what it is. So your emotions got to be in check all the time. Your emotions got to be on point. A lot of you brothers end up in these relationships where you become violent. You become abusers. You in domestic violence. I don't care what a woman doing. If she bringing that kind of animal out of you, you have no business even being around that woman. Some of you brothers gonna get y'all's heads cracked because you putting your hands on women. Some of you brothers out here don't know how to deal with other men in the streets. So you're driven by emotions all the way until somebody give you a big slice of humble pie. You got to get your emotions in check as men. As men, our job and our goal is to personify class. Every day that goes by, we need to be trying to become better. We need to, exemplify masculinity at all times. Masculinity is logic. Masculinity is good decision making. Forget the street culture. Forget the street culture where all these dudes is operating in emotion. Because although some silly people, silly women and silly brothers, young ignorant, stupid people, let's just be what it is, say what it is, although they may be impressed by the man who screams and yells and beats on his chest and, you know, runs after other people and use and conduct bodily harm and use violence as the first reaction to everything. Although some people may be impressed by that, it is weakness. It takes way more strength to walk away from a situation. It takes way more valor as a man to say, you know what? You look me up in 5 years. No. You say what you want to say. You look me up in 5 years and see where I'm at in life. You keep on screaming. No. We ain't got to go back and forth. You just sit. You sit there. You keep screaming. You keep wolfing. Sell your wolf tickets. But I'm thinking on a higher level. That's the mentality you got to have, brothers and sisters. That's the mentality. You can't be continuing to go back and forth with sheep. Lions are not concerned with the opinions of sheep. You are lions out here. In the scriptures, it says, who can rile up the lion? That lion is sitting there. If you look at a lion, they just sitting there, right? They lounging, they chilling until it's time to show them teeth. Until it's time to hunt. Until it's time to do their thing. You can look at the impression on a lion's face. So, you know, don't worry about the opinions of sheep. That's how you end up getting into your emotions. That's how you get into your emotions, man. I see. Thankful everybody who sent super chats. I see the super chats. Let's see what y'all's comments are saying. Somebody said my TV started making weird noises today and started blinking in a weird pattern. There might be a sign right there. Turn it off. Turn the television off, because I'm telling you, this is psychology. All you hear is mandatory this, vaccine that, oh, COVID this, oh, the death toll this. And like, what do you think that's doing to your emotions? Putting all these low vibrational frequencies within your mind. The only thing it's doing is getting you emotional. Operating on emotions. The what if factor. And I mean, I'm telling you, it's bad for your brain. It's bad for your brain. It's bad for your overall health. It's bad for you to just be emotional. You know, I really respect people who laugh when somebody is saying something crazy. Like, you know, when you know that you're trying to follow the righteous path and somebody worldly is trying to bring you into these carnalities, and they're thinking carnal, they're speaking carnal. Everything that's coming out of their mouth is carnal, and they want to drag you down to that level. Yo, sometimes it's just a good idea to laugh. Just laugh at them. You know, don't even get mad, just laugh. That is emotional intelligence right there. That is emotional intelligence. Knowing how to be reserved when it's time to be reserved. We talk a lot about gang stalking, neighborhood mobbing, neighborhood watch, how it's certain people in our neighborhoods, in our environment, that may be watching certain individuals based on the fact that these people are religiously or politically different from everybody else. And they're choosing not to engage in society's, I would say, narrative. You know, when you see people who are just totally unplugged, they're not dealing with the left, right-wing paradigm of Democrats and Republicans. They're not dealing with the news. They're not dealing with the media. They're not dealing with any of the fear tactics that people are putting out. These people tend to stick out like a sore thumb. They're not following the mindless bots. So what'll end up happening is you'll have individuals who want to target that person. They want to target that person because that person is not like them. They're sitting out here, they're emotionally unstable. They're just upset that you're calm. Now, that takes some real instability when someone else's peace bother you. Could you picture that? If you are an emotionally intelligent person, you are at peace. It literally is peace. Like your brain changes, it's rewired. People are literally bothered by that because it's something they don't have. They like, why is this person in peace? All hell is breaking loose in this earth. But this person seems to be calm. What is it about them? Why I can't be calm? They are emotionally unstable. They have no emotional intelligence whatsoever. We got to stop moving on emotions. And I know, and I'm speaking to these melanated people because I understand the plight of being a melanated person. When you go through certain things in life, it can leave you with PST. What is it? Post-traumatic stress syndrome. And that's what they label it. But what it is we've been through so much that, you know, we willing to snap back when it's time to snap back. We have to defend ourselves. A lot of melanated people have not been taught nothing but to defend themselves. Everybody else have to understand that. So when they show us going off, when we're bothered by somebody and people are constantly in our space and they see us yell, scream on camera and they catch us, the media loves to roll that out and demonize us and make it seem like that all of us are like that 24/7. No, it's just the fact that we've been through so much, man. What do you expect? And now that we've come into the truth, a lot of us come into the truth, got out of the world, got set apart, and then got to deal with more. Because now we got to deal with neighborhood watch. We got to deal with Freemasons. We got to deal with agents, agent provocateurs. We got to deal with social media targeting. We got to deal with so much. It's like when we get aggressive, it's because we're tired of being messed with. That's what it is. But they want to show us in that negative light. So don't think for a second I don't understand our plight as people. Whether you're doing good or bad in this world. As a melanated person, a lot of the times, you got to go against all odds. Whether you're doing good or bad, no matter what you're doing, you're going against all odds. So you become defensive. You become reactionary. You always got that defense up. You ready at all times. But it has to be controlled. It has to be controlled. You have to facilitate your emotions. You have to learn that time can heal all wounds. But you got to give yourself the time. So many of us got so many wounds that need to be healed, and it's going to take us being alone. We got to go through a healing process. It's going to take us not dealing with anybody, being on a figurative island on our own, like John on the island of Patmos. Sometimes you got to heal, because through emotion, if you keep bringing certain people in your life, you're never going to be able to heal. Your emotions and your scars are never going to heal. Only thing that's going to happen is you're going to keep projecting your emotions everywhere. It's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for the people around you. Get yourself straight. Heal your wounds. Seek after the Most High. Pray. Read your Bible. Fast. Meditate on the Word. Find some peace in your life before you are good to be around anybody. And that goes for friends, family, a suitable mate, so on and so forth. If you gain an edification in this live stream, mash the thumbs up button. Show your support for this type of content. Like the scriptures say, the renewal of your mind is the beginning of salvation. So we got to talk about what goes on in these brains of ours. Let's see what we got. Y'all servant says, I keep telling the same thing to my oldest son. Facts. Absolutely. Courtney says, glory to the Most High. TX Sweet says, I was abused badly by my mother, but the Bible and Christ got me over it. Took 10 years, but now I'm calm and at peace. Ain't nothing like it. Being calm and at peace. And then a lot of the times the people who have done you wrong in your past, and it doesn't matter what situation it is. If you come into this truth, the knowledge of Christ, if you study to show yourself approved, honor his law, statutes, and commandments, you're going to look back, and the people who done you wrong, the people who, you know, are still caught up in their own emotions, the people who are selfish, the people who are narcissistic, the people who are still trying to manipulate and control, those people, they never really find peace. They never really find it. They never really find what you found. They remain miserable a lot of the times. If you look at their current situation and their circumstances, they're still projecting the same insecurities on others. They're still projecting the same drama on others. They still caught up in the same nonsense, you know? Rachel says, yes, that parent hurt is something serious. I read today in the Bible, God will bless those who surrender their fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, fathers, all in order to walk with Christ. Absolutely. The Bible says, he who believes sister, brother, mother, father, son, daughter is more worthy than me, being Christ, is not worthy of me. They're not worthy of Christ. If you put anybody over you, over Christ, and you don't seek your own eternal salvation based on another person, you are not worthy of Christ. I don't care what family you was born into. I don't care how emotional you are. I don't care about your emotional attachments. Yes, we all have certain feelings for people. But the issue is some of these relationships are toxic for us. Some of these relationships we can't operate in because we will not be able to function properly. We won't be able to reach our full potential. We won't be able to find salvation through Christ because there's certain people that you were born to conquer. Let me repeat that. There's certain people and certain families that you were born into that you were just made to overcome and conquer them. You were born to overcome what was placed before you in order to be who you are. The body of Christ is going to come together regardless. And blood just don't matter, straight up. Get our emotions under control. When you come into this truth, all emotions get thrown out the window. The Most High God operates in logic. You may lose somebody in your life and it hurts you so bad. It may be excruciating. You may fall to one knee and grab your rib and cry like a baby. Your tears may flow. It may hurt so bad, like somebody is stabbing you in your ribs, between your rib cages. But guess what? If logic and purpose is the reason to make that detachment, sometimes you got to do it, as bad as it may hurt. At the end of the day, what's right is what got to be placed in front of all emotions. Especially you men out here, you have a purpose. You men have a purpose to lead this nation of people. You have to lead your people. It's such hard times for our people. We are at the bottom of the barrel right now. We need soldiers to stand up and be willing to do what's right. We need soldiers who are willing to go and speak from the rooftop. We need soldiers who are willing to sacrifice everything for truth's sake, regardless of how they woman feel, how anybody feel. How anybody feel. We got to have men who are willing to go against the proverbial grain that's embedded in society. No matter if they called misogynist, sexist, conspiracy theorists, maniacs, lunatics, no matter what they called, no matter how the world goes against these brothers, you brothers got to be ready. And in order to do that, you got to get your emotions in check. Get out of your feelings. They would like to call this type of teaching hyper masculinity, when you're talking about logic, purpose, getting your emotions under control, exemplifying masculinity, women getting their emotions under control so that man can have peace. They will call these type of topics hyper masculine, when the truth of the matter is this is logic, this is purpose, this is what the Most High wants for us right now, in order for us to survive the onslaught that's coming against us. We got to practice emotional intelligence. Your emotions are very dangerous. Your brain is wired a certain way because you're melanated. Your feelings can be more intense. Other nations don't behave the way we behave. You would never see a reality show of Caucasian women. Every time they get upset, they jumping up, they slapping another woman, or they throwing glasses of champagne at other women. You're not going to see that. Even if it happens, they're not going to showcase that. You got to understand that that is not your nature. Your emotions are supposed to be transmuted to doing other things. You are very spiritual beings. Your emotions and your spirit go hand in hand. Because when it comes to praise and worship as a woman, those same emotions that is being utilized as in this open playing field of media, that's the same emotions that you should be having when you praising the Most High. You need to transmute those energies. All that emotion, all those tears, all that passion, all that fire that's in you, all these feelings. We need sisters who gonna praise with those feelings. Praise the Lord with those feelings, not go on emotional tangents. And in this world, what it'll do is, this is what the world does. The world will put all these labels on people who have a lack of emotional intelligence. They would say you're schizophrenic. They would say bipolar disorder. They would put all these labels on people, when really these labels are just excuses. The issue is you have demons that you got to rid yourself of. No prescription pill is going to change that. There's spirits that you got to overcome. And what they do is they use these diseases to blame it on. So if you going off, if you going crazy out here, well, I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. No. If you a man out here, you wilding out, you screaming, you going off on people, that diagnosis ain't gonna mean a damn thing when they lock your black ass up. Okay? You can't pull that card that other people pull. It is what it is. They can go ahead and pull the bipolar schizophrenic card real quick. You say you schizophrenic? Oh yeah, you schizophrenic. Okay. Well, how many of you exist? It's 4 of you? Well, I'm gonna lock all 4 of your black asses up. You schizophrenic, right? You got 4 personalities. All 4 of y'all gonna be eating child tomorrow morning. All 4 of y'all gonna be in a child line. Because the fact of the matter is, men, they watching. The whole world is watching us. You got to get it together. People talking about they bipolar, schizophrenic. Let me tell you something. The Bible tell you to train up a child in the way you will have them go, and they will not depart from the faith. Brothers, your little boy come out and say, Dad, I'm bipolar. You know, he went off on a teacher. He didn't cuss the teacher out. Well, I think I'm bipolar. I guarantee if you whoop his ass with that belt, I guarantee hey, look, he go to sleep and he wake up just as humble and meek. All of a sudden, bipolar done went away. We're not falling for all these lies they coming with. I'm telling you, a lot of brothers need a lot of humble pie. A lot of you youngins in the streets right now, you living it up, you doing dirt, you doing whatever it is you want to do in these streets. I'm telling you, when you go to prison, and notice I said when you go to prison. When you go to prison, you're going to get a big slice of humble pie. You're going to find out real quick that the dude that you are right now in the streets, you are not that dude in prison. Because it's something about getting your ass whooped that's going to change your whole perspective on life. And you got to understand, men are action oriented. The reason why emotions and the lack of emotional intelligence is so important to speak about when it comes to men is because we're action oriented. We take our emotions to action. In the world, they're going to respond with action. Every action got a reaction, straight up. Yeah, somebody said, the belt is the truth. Facts. Discipline your children. Don't abuse your children. Discipline them. The Bible tells us if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Yes, these children be needing their ass whooped. It just is what it is. This ain't that modern day, oh, go sit in the corner, little Timmy. No. Little Timmy needs his ass whooped. Yeah, somebody said, Rachel said, Proverbs 22:15, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Facts. And we be sitting here trying to be counselors with our children. Oh, maybe we need to take little Timmy to, maybe we need to go take little Timmy to go see a psychiatrist. Let's pay this psychiatrist $2,000 a month so little Timmy can talk about his emotions. The Bible just told you. And the heart of a child is foolishness. No, you got to get it on up out of there. Spending all that money we always trying to, well, how does the child feel? Like on Rugrats, Dr. Lipschitz. Well, how is the baby feeling? So your 2-year-old hit you with the Tonka truck in the face. Well, maybe the baby is frustrated. Maybe the environment is not. How about that baby need a couple taps, a couple love taps? How about that part? Maybe they need a little lesson on emotional intelligence, especially these young men out here. Because only way a young black male will feel free to just let his emotions run wild and cause absolute hell in the streets is because he was not getting his ass whooped as a child. How many times we got to hear that story? How many times we got to hear the story of brothers who ended up successful with their head on straight, talking about how their mom and dad whooped their ass? How many times we got to hear that story before we recognize that our kids need ass whoopings? How many successful, prevalent, logical brothers who made it say, look, my parents whipped me right out of the penitentiary. So this lesson is not just for us, man. We got to pass this down from generation to generation. Emotional intelligence, the importance of emotional intelligence. But hopefully this video helped y'all out and y'all walking your journey. If it did, make sure you share the video. Exclusive content can be found on patreon.com/newbreed with a capital N. Link in the description box. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for watching. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. With that being said, shalom and peace.